guys, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Keys. If you guys are new here, I want to thank you for stopping by, and before we get started, go ahead and subscribe down below. If you are coming back again, as usual, I want to thank you so much for deciding to tune in again. And yes, today we actually have another chit chat talky video, kind of a get ready with me, even though we know I'm about to stay home and do some homework, but I wanted to do something with my hands and not just be talking face to face, because I did that in my last video. So today I'm gonna go with this yellowy sunshine daisy vibe. I know that fall is almost here, but since we have like another month left of summer, I figured I'd give us some more summer vibes before the heat stops and all the cool, comfy, pumpkin spicy weather gets here with us. So I did my eyebrows off camera. You know, those took me like 30 minutes to do because I am unseasoned in this category, but whatever, we're gonna go with it and we're gonna continue the rest on camera. So today, and who knows why I decided to do my makeup when I'm talking about a subject that is near and dear to my heart, something that actually makes me cry on the regular, but I don't know, it's polar opposites conversation with the makeup and the sunshine vibe, but we're gonna go with it. So today we are going to be talking about my struggle with mental health illnesses and just really what's been going on behind the scenes in my life for maybe the last year or so, or the last 12 years, depending on how you look at it. So we're gonna start with the eyes. I have a MAC palette. I don't know the name of it, but I will be using these two top yellow colors. There's really no significant difference except one is a little bit more sparkly, but I'm just gonna put that all over my eyelids. Okay, so I really just wanted to sit down and have a talk because on my Instagram, like if you follow me on my Instagram or my Twitter or my Facebook, you'll see that I like try to be positive while also being transparent in everything that I post. And it's because in my own life, I struggle very heavily with severe anxiety and depression. I've dealt with it for as long as I can remember. Before I even knew that it had a name, I was dealing with it. And there would just be times where I would just be sad and I didn't know why, or there would be times where I would just freak out and I didn't know why, and I was just always that way. I've always been like a worrier. I've always been like somebody who stresses out for whatever reason. And I had no idea how to deal with it. I just felt that it was something that bothered me my whole life. And it wasn't until I was maybe 21 that I got diagnosed, and from then on, I knew that that was something that was just, or had been a part of my life. Like I finally had a name. I finally didn't feel crazy. I finally was just like, oh, this is what I've been going through, and this is why. The chemicals in my brain, they don't align. They don't match like they're supposed to. It's something in my brain, and it was kind of a sigh of relief when I finally knew. I apologize for the light changes. I'm trying to film off natural light, but the natural light has gone down because it's 5 p.m. So that part. So back to what I was saying. I feel like it was a bit of sigh of relief when I could finally, I guess, define what was wrong with me, and like, oh, so there must be some type of cure, because I feel like usually when you have a diagnosis, there's a type of cure. And so that was when I started on the path of trying different medications, antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, things of that nature. And sometimes they worked, sometimes they were too strong and they made me feel queasy, or they made my anxiety worse, or they just straight out put me to sleep. And it's been a trial and error, and here I am now that I'm 26 and I still haven't found anything that really works for me. So that's fun. Not really, but at this point I actually like stopped trying to find medicines that work for me, because I've had GI issues since I was 12 years old. I've gone to doctors since I was 12 years old, specialists, in order to figure out what is wrong, and they're always kind of just like, oh, it's GERD, or you have a hiatal hernia, or this and that. And I try to see different doctors, and they look at past doctors' notes and they're like, oh, well, it's this, so just try this medication or this medication. And now like I said, I'm 26 and I'm still dealing with this issue, and I still don't have any answers. And the reason why I'm grouping them together is because my anxiety is tied to my GI system. So when I have panic attacks, I immediately feel more queasy, more nauseous. At that point, it gets harder to control both, because it's like I'm trying to calm my mind, but I'm also trying not to puke at the same time, because if I get too overwhelmed, I know that that's what will happen. So I smile a lot for the camera, but this last year I feel like I have just been so broken. I feel like I have been like dying inside, and it's been a test. It has been a test of patience. It has been a test of growth. It has been a test of my faith, because you guys know I love Jesus. I am Christian, and I will never be ashamed of that. But because I do believe in God, I know that He puts me through things so that I can trust Him, so that I can believe that He is all powerful. Why? I don't know. I wish I understood the method to the madness, but like others, like I hate it. Like I hate feeling crappy. I hate feeling down. I hate feeling like I can't function. I hate it. It's probably the worst feeling ever. I was 222 pounds in January, and now because of whatever's going on with my GI tied to my anxiety, I am now 178, simply because I haven't been able to eat properly. I am severely dehydrated. I am queasy majority of the time. I take Zofran and promethazine. I actually made a status about this, and I'll probably post it in the video, I guess. But it's just really hard, and I don't hide this from people. It just gets very tiring trying to explain to people why I can't go out to eat, why I can't go out and do things, why I'm so unhappy, why I don't have peace, why I don't have joy. And it's because I have these things attacking my body. It's because I have these things that are constantly coming at me. These things that are constantly coming at me, and I'm trying to figure out how to function, and I'm trying to figure out how to process. And I'm in and out of hospitals. I'm in and out of doctor's offices, talking to people who go through similar things as I do. And it gets so frustrating when you're looking for answers, and when you go to see specialists and doctors are like, I don't know, you're a special case. And I'm like, yeah, I am, but my insurance is covering most of the cost, but these visits, they're also costing me, and I kind of need you to figure it out so that I can get back to my life, because I really miss my life. Like, I haven't been able to work out. I might eat 2 times a day, and my portions are like kid-sized portions. My daughter probably eats more than I do in a day. So when people tell me, you know, have faith, count it all joy, it's just a test, you gotta pass it, and it's like, I know, but it's hard, and I want to be normal. Like, I feel like if I had a diagnosis from a doctor and they're like, boom, this is what you got, boom, this is the treatment for it, yeah, you got to be on medication for the rest of your life, yeah, you got to change your eating habits, or yeah, you have to fix this, I could be like, darn Skippy, I can do that, because it was just in my head mentally. I would know that this is what the issue is, this is what the issue has always been, and now there's a way to fix it. But every night I go to sleep and I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. So it gets extremely frustrating when people tell me to keep pushing with a smile on my face, and I'm really always wanting to break down in tears and cry. We're gonna do eyeliner. So I'm just gonna do my waterline because I don't want like a lot of black. I just want to kind of have focus on my eyes, just a pigmented yellow. So just want it to be like on my face. I just wanted to do the waterline. Didn't want too much black in there. I actually messed up. And if you guys can tell, I actually kind of flared the yellow out just because I like it to be bright, even though this topic is kind of heavy. So I guess I'm trying to offset what it is that I'm talking about. Actually, we're gonna take a little brush because I kind of want to smooth out the black underneath, or smudge it, I guess, so that it looks a little bit more even. And then we are going to take some mascara because I don't wear falsies because I'm not good at applying them, and I usually apply with my eyes closed because then it hits the bottom lash and I don't have to do that separately. Maybe that's a laziness, but it works for me and it tends to hit them pretty well. And we are pretty much all done with the eyes. Okay, so got the first cry out the way. I told y'all I was trying to avoid them. I don't know how avoidable they're gonna be, but yeah. So with my stomach issues and my anxiety, for the most part, I've pretty much been tied to the house because I have panic attacks in the oddest places. Like I have panic attacks in the shower. I have panic attacks in the car while I'm driving. I will wake up out my sleep and my heart will be racing like da 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 da, and I have no idea why. I am aware of some of my triggers, but not all of them, because it just randomly happens. It just randomly happens, and I wish that I was better at controlling it, because the way having anxiety and depression is set up, depression makes me want to be like a recluse, and it makes me want to go inside my shell, hide from the world, and just not be a part of anything. But anxiety, it makes me want to reach out because I don't want to be alone, because I don't want to go through my panic modes by myself. It just makes me like fear being alone, and really at the basis of anxiety and depression are fear of the unknown, and just having both is like polar opposites, but they are hard as hell to fight, because it's like your mind wants one thing but your body wants to do another, and you reverse it, and you're just trying to get a handle on life when you have both, trying to function when you have both, on top of having medical issues. It is a big circle of hot mess. It's a hot mess. And then when you include being a mom, I'm just holding my foundation in my hand, bear with me. And then when you include being a mom, it's just like, some days, most days, I want to give up. I don't want to open my eyes. I don't want to wake up. I'm just like, oh, for what? Like, what's gonna be different about today? Am I gonna feel better today? Is the doctor gonna figure out what is wrong with me today? What's to look forward to today? And the best thing I have done for myself is learn how to watch what it is that I say, to watch how I think, to watch what I say, watch what comes out of my mouth, and things of that nature, because that is the number one thing that will tear you down. That will just make you by itself feel completely hopeless. And I don't like feeling like that. Like, normally I am a pretty positive person, but this last year of my life has actually been the hardest to deal with. A little bit, not even, it's really like, a year ago I lost a really close friend to suicide. Like, this person was like my brother. This person had the ability to make me laugh, make me cry, have deep discussions with me about Christ, have discussions about anything. Like, I could depend on this person to not judge me. I could depend on this person basically for everything. And I struggle with the fact that he took his life because he saved me from taking my own when I was pregnant. That is the last time that I was suicidal. I've been suicidal multiple times in my life. I've gone to commit suicide twice that I can remember, and I know that I'm here because of God, because my method was always, we're going to take a whole bunch of pills, because I wanted to be painless. And every time I went to take those pills, they were not there. And then I would get mad at God and be like, why are you doing this to me? I don't want to live. Why are you making me stay here? And it would always be because he has a purpose for my life. He has a purpose. And I'm still here. And after I felt my daughter kick, that is when I decided that being suicidal was not an option, because she needed me. She needed her mom. And since I promised her that, since I promised myself that, I have not been suicidal. Do I still deal with depression? Yes, obviously. But I don't let it affect me being a mom. She saved me. She saved me. And I think people think I'm exaggerating, but that girl, she saved me. She saved me from going down a dark path. She saved me from taking my life. She saved me from thinking the worst about myself, thinking that I was useless, thinking that nobody cared, that nobody, loved me. And I know that it's all in my head, which is what mental illness is. But that little girl, I'm just so grateful to her, and I know that she came in my life when she was supposed to, because I might not be here if it wasn't for her. Like, I sincerely mean that. She might watch this one day, and I still mean it, even though I know she's gonna drive me crazy. So we're gonna do blush now. This wasn't really meant to be a makeup tutorial, so I apologize that I'm not saying what brushes and things that I'm using. I'll probably try and post it down below, but It was just me trying to chit chat with you and give you guys visuals and something to look at. So we're going to go in with blush now, and I like this dark color. And we're going to smile because we want the rosiness of the cheek. I really like blush. So if I overdo it, I apologize. And I kind of like to just tap it and sweep it up in a motion that kind of goes to my hairline. Basically, after my friend committed suicide, I felt like my life started falling apart. I feel like my anxiety started to get worse kind of around then. My marriage started to fall apart. And I was in school full time, so I had that stressor, and being a mom and just day-to-day life stuff, things were just hard, and I felt like I didn't have control of anything. I felt like there was nothing I could do to make things get better, on top of learning how to cope with death. I invest a lot of myself into people, and I get attached to people, so being forced to let them go, it's really hard for me, and I still don't know how to cope with death. I wish that I knew how to cope with it in a healthy manner, but I don't know. So I kind of just act like it doesn't happen until I get these reminders of certain things, and I'm like, oh, this person isn't here anymore. And yeah, so death, and then marriage issues, and to which I'm actually going through a divorce right now. If you're curious as to why I'm still doing marriage series, it's not because I know how to keep a marriage together. It's because I know the ins and outs of it. It's because I know the mistakes that I've made, and it's because I don't want people to make the same mistakes that I did. So I am going to continue that series in case anybody is curious about marriage, getting married, relationships in general. But yeah, all of that combined, I moved out of my husband's house in February because it was just an extremely toxic relationship, and life is hard as it is. I don't need help with it being hard, and I was done. Mentally, I was done. Physically, I was done. And I just finally decided that I didn't want to deal with it anymore, and I left. And I hoped that my anxiety would calm down after I moved out of his house. And it did for a little bit. But the more that I got into trying to figure out what my health issues are, the more it kind of started to stir and rise back up. And that's when I really realized that my mental health issues are tied to my GI system, because anytime this acts up as well. So it's a double whammy. That's what it is. It's a double whammy. We're going to go into highlighter. I feel like I haven't worn highlighter in a long time, and I haven't because I really don't go anywhere so I don't do my makeup. But we're gonna do let's do bougie. Let's do bougie, which is kind of like a pinkish color. You just want to let me tap. I'm gonna do that in a sweepy motion, and then I take a smaller brush and gonna go right in the crease, which is perfect because it meets right at the tip where the yellow stops. I feel like just with all that combined, it's just been a very trying year for me, and I wanted to talk about it because I put up a lot of I put up a lot of statuses, I feel like, that make people question things, because I don't want to come off as if I'm complaining, because I know that, you know, there are people out there who are living a harder life, that there are people who are struggling more than I'm struggling. Like, I completely recognize that, but I also don't want to downplay what it is that I'm going through, because for me, it is hard to deal with. For me, having to act like everything is okay is hard, and sometimes I want it to be okay to not be okay. But again, you know, when you're a mom, you know, you're not really given those chances to not be okay, because you have to be strong. I have to be strong for her because I am the person that she depends on. But I really just wanted to be able to talk to you guys and tell you what's going on, because I feel like mental health is really downplayed. And if I ever disappear off the gram or Twitter or Facebook, it's usually because mental health has kind of clouded my mind, clouded my judgment, clouded my thoughts, clouded my life, and I'm basically being a turtle trying to get my life together, because I love being happy, I love being positive, I love having a good time. But when I'm in that mode, I can't be that for myself, let alone be that person for other people, and sometimes it just gets way too hard to fake. So I have to kind of breathe, do what it is to get myself to a level where I feel like I can be people-y and go on about my business. So we're gonna do lifts, and then I'm going to show you guys what it is that gets me through my hard moments. So I have this cute little chapstick, and I always put up chapstick underneath because my lips like to get chapped. And I like this pinky yellowy vibe, but I don't know where my pink lip gloss, and I think that's too pinky for this. But we're gonna go in with a lip liner. Do it with that. And then I can't remember who this is by, but oh my god. And I don't remember where I got this lip gloss. I think Victoria's Secret, because I'm really feeling like I like the glossy thing that's in right now. So I'm gonna do like that. And here we have the final look. Even though this wasn't a makeup video, it's the final look. So we're gonna spray and call it a day. I really didn't do all the essentials to makeup because this wasn't supposed to be a tutorial like stated, but yeah, I like it. Y'all like it? I like it. So now we're gonna put my glasses on because I actually want to be able to see. Okay, so how I'm able to deal with my negative thoughts: I read a lot, I write, and I listen. Not in that order, but I do all three. I make sure I read this book first thing in the morning. It is Jesus Calling by Sarah Young. Devotions for every day of the year. And I like it because I feel like it's always super relatable, and it just kind of gives me that extra boost that I need in the morning. They say that your thoughts upon waking are how your day will be for the rest of the day. So how your day will be for the rest of the day. How your day will be for the rest of the day. Why is that such a tongue twister? I don't know. But how you start your day off is so important because it will basically trickle down. And you think positive, that's what it'll be. You think negative, that's what it'll be. Not saying every day will be perfect, but how you think is super important. And I really had to learn how to tame my thoughts. I'm still working on it every single day. It is hard, but I know that it is essential in order for me to defeat anxiety and depression and fear. So it's something that I will practice until I get it right, and keep practicing so that I'm always where I need to be. Another book that I read a lot, are Moments of Peace in the Presence of God, morning and evening meditation. So I also read this in the morning and in the evening, but the thing with this is I read it with my mom. which I love because that's like our bonding time. And we read it together and we actually pray together, which I love. My mom is like low-key my best friend. She's my cheerleader. She's my lifter upper. She's my motivator. She's the thing that, you know, keeps me going when I want to give up. And sometimes she's that, oh baby, it'll be okay. And then other times she's like, yay, yo, you gotta tough it up. And I'm like, oh, really, mom? Really? You're being like this right now? And she's like, yes, I am. Anyway, but yeah, so I read that and pray with her, and that helps a lot. Also, I think I'm on like chapter 4 of this, Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer. It was recommended by my cousin. So thankful she recommended this to me, because when I do sit down and read this, I'm like, huh, that's me. I need to work on that. Oh wow, she's right. Like in the book, it specifically says that our battles are not physical, they are of the mind, and she's completely right, because I'm not physically out here fighting these doctors, or like I can't deck my anxiety in the neck. Like I can't, I literally cannot. But I have to fight up here when my mind tells me that you're never going to be okay. I have to say, yes, I am the healed and not the sick. Or when my mind tells me, I don't know why you keep praying to a God that's not listening. And I'm like, but he is listening. He is, and he's going to do amazing things in my life as long as I keep on trusting him. Like it's literally a mental battle. And when you conquer your mind, when you conquer your mental, amazing things I feel like can happen. I feel like everything starts up here. And when you conquer that, where the world will take you, who knows? As long as you know, just focus on getting that under control. So another book, I actually just started this. It's a 10-day spiritual action plan for overcoming stress, anxiety, and depression. And I ordered this off of Kenneth and Gloria Copeland's website. This actually comes with CDs and DVDs, which I really actually like, because it's very interactive, and I kind of just set aside maybe 30 minutes to an hour of my day and make sure I focus on this. And it's also a morning and evening thing that I do. So I have a lot of morning and evening rituals, and it's because I want to make sure I start my day on a positive note, and I want to end my day on a positive note, regardless of what I'm going through, regardless of what's happening in my life. I just always want to make sure that my mind is in the right place. And not all the time does it work. Not all the time am I like, today sucked, but I'm gonna be okay. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that reading these things always make me feel better. But I know that with an accumulation of time and energy and faith and hope, that these words will ring true in my life. So I told you guys that I write. I try to write in this notebook about twice a week. I got this notebook from Hobby Lobby, and you can't see it on the front, but it says send it up to God. I believe that prayer is any type of conversation with God. You don't necessarily have to be on your hands and knees. It doesn't have to be formal. It can be completely informal. A lot of my conversations with God are informal. I have them in the shower. I will just be walking to the mailbox, or I can just be outside on my patio, and in the middle of homework I'll be like, hey God, if you're up there listening, I could really use your comfort right now. Like a lot of my prayers to God are completely informal, and all of my prayers to God are completely honest, because it's just like he knows everything about me. He knows the ins and outs. He knows how many hairs I have on my head. Who am I to try and lie to a person who knows my thoughts before I even tell him? So I literally talk to him like my G. Y'all heard that lip smack? Like my G. Hey G, what up OG? My dude, dad. You know, I'm kind of not feeling good today. I could use your healing. I feel like I'm deserving of it. Like, my prayers are completely informal. It's just like a conversation with him, and that's what works for me. But you really have to do what works for you. As far as what I listen to, what you listen to is so important, because I'm not trying to fill my mind with a bunch of junk. So hands down, all the way down to like my music, I listen to a lot of gospel. I listen to a lot of Christian and uplifting music. It's probably boring to a lot of people, but it's what I like. I also like trap music because I was raised in Atlanta. Like, I like the Migos, but this isn't what's getting me through my times right now. Not to say that when I'm through this, I'm just going to give up God, because that's not how this works. But to really get my mindset and my mind where it needs to be, I need to watch what I'm putting into my soul. So I listen to a lot of gospel music, a lot of Tasha Cobbs, Donnie McClurkin, Kirk Franklin, and then I listen to Hillsong and Elevation Worship and Torrin Phillips and Corinne Hawthorne. I think I said that right. Won't he do it? He said he would. Yeah, that's my jam. So make sure I listen to positive and uplifting music. As well, I listen to a lot of sermons. I listen to them in the car. I listen to them on TV. I listen to them while I'm going to sleep, because I just always want an overflow of positivity going into my body. That way, like, when I wake up, it's just spewing out of me like a fountain. Like, I want to be able to conquer life and fight against negativity without even having to think about it. Like, it should just be like, oops, a burp, and it's just positivity. Like, I want to spew rainbows. I want to be so good that you're like, why is she happy all the time? She's going through this. Why does she have so much peace? Why does she have so much joy? Because I truly would like to be filled with that one day. And I know it's going to be some effort, but I will never stop trying to get there. And I just want to say that I am so blessed. I just want to say that I'm so blessed to have the people in my life. I have such a good circle around me. I have people who randomly check on me, people who randomly call me, people who send me encouraging texts, people who are just like, hey, I'm praying for you. Like, I just have so many good people in my life. I am so blessed, because a lot of people can't say that. A lot of people can't say, I have somebody to call when I'm breaking down. Like, I have people who listen to me ugly cry. Who can say that? I have people whose houses I can spend a night over if I just don't want to be alone. And they're like, yeah, come on over. Come stay with me. We're going to have a sleepover and watch movies or do whatever makes you comfortable, because we want you to feel better. Like, shouts out to you guys. I love you guys so much. I know I tell you guys often, but I will never stop telling you, because I really am so blessed to be surrounded by such good, such faithful, such humble, such uplifting and motivating people. So I love you guys. I feel like I covered all the topics that I wanted to cover. Yeah, I did. Okay, so I have to hurry up before my camera decides to die again. Shame on me for not charging it. If you have anybody in your life who deals with mental health diseases, illnesses, anything, make sure you check on them. Make sure you send those random texts. Make sure you pop up at their house. We might outwardly hate you, but we will internally praise you, because we need friends who just show up. That is so important. Just show up. Be there. Be a listening ear. Be a shoulder to cry on. Rub their hair. Give them massages. Something to make us feel better. If you or anyone you know are dealing with suicidal thoughts, suicidal ideation, wants to harm themselves or wants to harm others, I'm going to put the number down below to the suicide hotline. Make that phone call, talk to somebody, open up. Suicide is not your only option. It is not the answer. This is only a season, and I promise you it will not last forever. I promise you. I can attest to that hard times don't last. And even though I'm going through a hard time myself, I know that this will not be my life for the rest of my life. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I want to thank you guys if you watched the whole thing, and I love you so much. Stay positive, stay healthy, live your life. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Love you, bye.